Good morning again. This will be my last little live from France for a while, doing my morning run. Today I just wanted to briefly follow up on the conversation we had yesterday with estrogen metabolism. I know it sounds really odd, a lot of you guys are male or men that are listening to me here, but actually estrogen has a big impact for men as well. We usually know it for females. It's like one of our sex hormones that help us get fertile, have us go through menstruation, have babies, all of that. But actually men do have estrogen as well, and nowadays a lot of men and women have too much estrogen in comparison to our other hormones like progesterone and testosterone. And just a few of the things that the problems that can lead to is that we do need estrogen in our body, but if we have too much of it, and especially if you have the wrong kind, then it can, for men for example, it can lead to things like man boobs, or being more, feeling more hormonal, as we quote by quote, I usually call it, being a bit more anxious, being a bit more nervous, getting that little bit of belly fat. Also leads to things like the beer belly that we know. Hi everyone that's joining this morning. And also it can lead to a higher risk of things like prostate cancer and other chronic illnesses, autoimmune conditions. For females, estrogen dominance has a lot to do with things like being really moody, getting bad PMS, pains at the periods, getting anxiety, puffiness around their waistline, around their thighs that they just can't get to bulge. Those are some of the common ones. So what's the problem with plastics in that regard? Plastics, like I briefly mentioned yesterday, do have an impact on our estrogen metabolism, because they're kind of like, they act like an estrogen in the body, they mimic it, but then the body doesn't know how to get rid of it. And it goes through our liver, and our liver has to put it either into a healthy protective form of estrogen that can then be excreted properly, or it goes into two toxic forms. One of it especially is very bad and could potentially contribute to things like autoimmunity and even cancers. So that's why we really want to get rid of that, those fake estrogens, because the body tends to turn them more into the bad version, and they just don't know how, the body just doesn't know how to deal with it properly. So what can we do to prevent this? So obviously we want to reduce our exposure, like we said yesterday, things like coffee and tea bags, but also things like plastic water bottles, little plastics that are in microplastics that are in our makeup, if it's not natural makeup. They all have hormone and estrogen mimicking substances in them. Other things is, for example, if you have a water filter that's in plastic, or your favorite, let's say you use microwaves, which I'm not a fan of, we'll get into that another time. If you use them and you're reheating your food in plastics, or you're putting hot food into a plastic container to then store it or take it to the office, or give it to your kids for later. Those all have been shown to have tiny little microplastics, and that gets absorbed into your body. And studies show that a lot of us, pretty much everyone, has some little microplastics in our stool. Okay, so other than avoiding exposure, we live in a world where there's plastic everywhere. So how do we reduce the bad effects it has on us when we can't avoid exposure to it? One of the really good things to do is to support our liver by eating more cruciferous vegetables. What are they? Things like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage. If you try and add them every day, they help the body get rid of that bad estrogen and turn it into the more positive version. Also helping something called methylation, which is a really important process in the body, again to help that estrogen be transferred out but also be turned into the healthier version. And that can be helped by making sure you have enough B vitamins in your diet, or maybe supplements. So especially B12 and B9, also called folate. Folate is mainly found in leafy greens, but also in animal products. And then B12 is mainly found in animal products. So if you're a vegan, you might want to supplement just for the fact of getting your methylation going properly. It also helps prevent cancer on other levels, because it helps our DNA regenerate. Another thing that you can do is help your gut. So if you're not going to the bathroom every day, if you're not having a poop every day, then likelihood of that estrogen that should be excreted is being recirculated into your bloodstream, and then you also have more of that estrogen in your body. So a good way to help that is eating more prebiotic fiber. So prebiotic foods are things like lots of leafy greens, vegetables, artichokes, leek. Again, cruciferous vegetables have lots of good fibers that help our gut get everything out. Chia seeds are great, or even cooked and cooled down potatoes, sweet potatoes. They turn into something called resistant starch, which feed our gut bacteria and also help the body go to the bathroom, have regular bowel movements, and that helps the body excrete estrogen. Another thing, last one, and I'll stop with it for today, is to support, again, our liver, but in particular we want to support our bile, the stuff that flows from the liver through our gallbladder into our intestines to help break down food. But also what it does, it actually helps to take out that estrogen that the liver has metabolized, put it into the gut to then be excreted. So if we help our bile, and that often is quite sticky in a lot of people, so then people get things like gallstones, or they can't quite absorb fats because their body doesn't make the bile to go into the stool to help the body break down fats appropriately. And then all of that, the cycle starts again with estrogen being recirculated. Now, if we have a sticky bile, the estrogen can't be taken out. So, and also it will get absorbed more readily back from the intestines. So how do we support our bile? Again, supporting the liver with cruciferous vegetables, but also something simple like having a lemon, half a lemon, but adding the peel. So cutting an organic lemon, so it's really important because especially because you're having the peel, and put that in a blender. You can add some other things in it. You can add your broccoli, you can add some cabbage, you can add some things that you normally find difficult to eat. Just blend it all up and drink it, or just that lemon with a peel. Drink it like a juice. It will support your bile. Anything bitter, so even having your morning coffee, if it's organic and pesticide free, plastic free as well, or your morning green tea, all these things that are slightly bitter, they support your bile, they support your liver making a better bile. And also having some good proteins, or things like eggs, will help your body make a better bile to take all of that out. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, message me. If you have any comments, if there's things that you would like to know more about, I'll be trying to do more of these. And again, you can go over to my YouTube channel, because I'm uploading them there, and I will try and just upload lots of information for you guys to find out more about this. Have a lovely day.